Hello, my name is Jim DeMeo and this is A Course in Miracles. Today I'm reading from Lesson 164. Now we are one with Him, who is our source. What time but now can truth be recognized? The present is the only time there is. And so today, this instant now, we come to look upon what is forever there, not in our sight, but in the eyes of Christ. He looks past time and sees eternity as represented here. He hears the sounds the senseless, busy world engenders, yet he hears them faintly. Far beyond them, all he hears, the song of heaven, and the voice for God, more clear, more meaningful, more near. Does it seem that way for you? Is it getting clearer, closer, maybe a little louder? It can, I know, because it does for me. I try to offer myself a great deal of patience when I don't listen, when I get distracted by those faint worldly noises. But it is getting nearer, it is getting clearer, isn't it? The world fades easily away before his sight. Its sounds grow dim. A melody far from beyond the world increasingly is more and more distinct. An ancient call to which he gives an ancient answer. You will recognize them both, for they are but your answer to your Father's call to you. Christ answers for you, echoing yourself, using your voice to give his glad consent, accepting your deliverance for you. How holy is your practicing today as Christ gives you his sight and hears for you and answers in your name the call he hears. How quiet is the time you give to spend with him beyond the world. How easily are all your seeming sins forgot and all your sorrows unremembered. On this day is grief laid by, for sights and sounds that come from nearer than the world are clear to you, who will today accept the gifts he gives. There are sounds into which the world cannot intrude. There's an ancient peace you carry in your heart and have not lost. There's a sense of holiness in you the thought of sin has never touched. All this today you will remember. Faithfulness in practicing today will bring rewards so great and so completely different from all things you sought before that you will know that here your treasure is, and here you rest, in the mind of God, allowing yourself to think. This is the day when vain imaginings part like a curtain to reveal what lies beyond them. Now is what is really there made visible, while all the shadows which appeared to hide it merely sink away. Now is the balance righted, and the scale of judgment left to him, who judges true. And in his judgment will a world unfold in perfect innocence before your eyes. Now you see it with the eyes of Christ. Now is its transformation clear to you. I woke up this morning The ego came to visit, casting a shadow upon God, citing him the way I was trained as judgmental, as scary, and even as angry. And right alongside of it came the reality of a loving God who has no need to judge his sinless Son. How much more easy is it to be with that God, a loving God? But how much more effective in helping us to become far more responsible so that we can live our day listening to the guidance of his voice through our true self. So accepting a loving God, we actually learn to love ourselves. Brother, this day is sacred to the world. Your vision, given you from far beyond all things within the world, looks back on them in a new light. And what you see becomes the healing and salvation of the world. The valuable and the valueless are both perceived and recognized for what they are. And what is worthy of your love receives your love, while nothing to be feared remains. So how functional is a fearful God? Does it make us obey? In terror we obey? Well, for me, I have found that whole terrifying, fearful God has caused in me a rebellion, a refusal to listen. And of course, the rebellion has caused me suffering. A loving God is far more functional, far more practical. We will not judge today. We will receive but what is given us from judgment made beyond the world. Our practicing today becomes our gift of thankfulness for our release from blindness and misery. Indeed. All that we see will but increase our joy because its holiness reflects our own. We stand forgiven in the sight of Christ, with all the world forgiven in our own. We bless the world as we behold it in the light in which our Savior looks on us, and offer it the freedom given us through his forgiving vision, not our own. Open the curtain in your practicing by merely letting go all things you think you want. Your trifling treasures put away and leave a clean and open space within your mind where Christ can come and offer you the treasure of salvation. He has need of your most holy mind to save the world. Is not this purpose worthy to be yours? Is not Christ's vision worthy to be sought above the world's unsatisfying goals? Saving the world means helping others see that we're from love and of love. That's what it means. Let not today slip by without the gifts it holds for you, receiving your consent and your acceptance. We can change the world if you acknowledge them. You may not see the value your acceptance gives the world, but this you surely want. You can exchange all suffering for joy. This is really true, outstandingly true. Try it if you haven't. If you have, then you know it's true. You can exchange all suffering for the joy this very day. Practice in earnest, and the gifts is yours. Would God deceive you? Can his promise fail? Can you behold so little when his hand holds out complete salvation to his Son?